Poisonrana.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Poisonrana. Poisonrana.ca, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever podcast app you may be listening to us on. And of course,
YouTube.com/@Poisonrana. Hello, Poisonrana Pod, excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, YouTube room. How we doing?
What's going on? It's a rare Monday night with the BDE. We usually go live with this show on Sundays in the afternoon, but there was a pay-per-view last night, so it would be not too much to talk about if we just...
Yeah, we'd be dating ourselves very quickly. We'd be previewing an event, putting our predictions together for it to all be irrelevant in a mere few hours.
So what we did instead is we had a few friends over and we watched the show last night, and then we decided to record this little bonus podcast on a Monday night for you people. So we will be back tomorrow night after NXT on the post-wrestling feed for Up Next, so look forward to that. And then I think we'll resume this show next Sunday at our normal time.
At 2 p.m., yes.
On
Before
Sunday.
we get into it, do you mind just lowering your seat like half an inch?
Am I too taller?
You're too tall. Like, they're missing your lovely post-wrestling hat.
I gotta shrink
being
down?
cut off, yeah.
Now I
there we
feel
go.
like...
Now I'm the tallest
No,
one
I
in
don't
the
like
room.
this now. Now I feel short.
But it looks better. It looks better.
You know how I feel about short people.
Yeah, don't want no short people. Not around here.
Hello, short people and tall people.
We love
alike.
you all.
Yeah.
Poisonrana's for everyone.
Yes, this is true. So we're gonna dive in and chat about some AEW Revolution that happened last night. That we hung out and had a great time. I'm a little hungover. I'm hurting. We had some friends over. Some we're so close to our listeners that sometimes we invite you over to our house.
Yes.
And that was the case with Emil.
Yeah.
Who's traveling from Denmark?
Who's in the room right now saying, haven't really been able to form sentences today. So, yeah.
Yeah. Our friend Jen, shout out Bryan, Jen, but Jen brought Hennessy and the bottle's like gone. So that explains a lot why I'm hurting today. Yeah, we had Jesse from the Six.
I did all right. You were all doing like the sprint thing. I was running the marathon.
You were doing the Ironman,
and then at the end, like normally I'd be down for a night out, but you're coming out. I'm like, nah, I'm good tonight. I think I'm gonna go to bed. I've got work in the morning.
Yeah.
And we need to talk about Revolution in the evening. So I tapped out early.
You tapped out, but I went the extra mile and ended up singing "Rockstar" by Nickelback for karaoke. So that was my night. But yeah, I'm hurting today. But it was a fun time. I like getting together with people and watching wrestling and stuff like that. And it's always fun to get people. Emil was saying like he's not really watched wrestling with people before, so it was like such a unique experience for him. Like not often does he have people to do that, and I find that like interesting and pretty fun.
He came in and said, it smells exactly how I thought. And I was like, what, weed and cooking?
And he's like, yeah. he thought
whilst I was preparing a Guinness stew yesterday, you were preparing some joints for the show.
Yeah, that was pretty great. So then we had a non-wrestling fan, your friend Gareth from work. He came over to watch with us as well. He was just like happy to be. He's just like, this is great. He got into it. For sure.
We were trying to, in as condensed a way as possible, explain each feud. So it'd be like, okay, Jericho v Starks, what happened? I'm like, okay, the young guy beat the old guy once and then kept on wanting to face the old guy a second time and then tricked him into facing him a second time. He's like, but he's already beaten him. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, what's the second match? So that guy's Luke Perry's son. And, well, as we know, Luke Perry died. So Christian pretended to be his dad for like a year and then was like, nah, lol, your dad's dead. So they're having a buried alive match. He's like, all right. Oh, and he wants to fuck his mum and sister.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Then he got into
What story for the Elite versus House of Black? I don't know, but it's going to be good.
The scary guys versus the basketball guys. Yeah. If you want to hang out with us and watch a pay-per-view with us, we can tell you where we will be the next big wrestling pay-per-view. Both nights in Toronto at Gabby's. I was going to say at Davie's Gabby's because it is.
It's my Gabby's. Gabby's 309 King Street West. This is like a 5-minute walk from the CN Tower.
Yep.
It's right in the heart of downtown. We're going to be showing WrestleMania both nights with sound on over 10 screens. We're even going to have it on the patio as well. We've got a heated covered patio for like overflow. So if you want to bring your coats as well and watch outside, we started curating a bit of a a cocktail list, which are always a big hit. And come and get your tickets. Tickets are moving pretty quickly, so don't leave it to the last minute. Go to poisonrana.ca to click on the link to our Eventbrite, and we still got some combo tickets left. So if you wanted to come to both nights, it will save you a few bucks.
Yeah, this has been fun. If you're in the Toronto area or somewhat and you're making the trip, we know a few of our friends are coming into the city just to come hang out and watch Mania with us at the bar for 2 nights. So that'll be quite awesome when that happens, if that happens. But if you are in the area thinking of watching it with some friends, hell yeah, come on by and we're going to have a party. We've done these things for the past little while. We've been killing it. So we're in demand now.
We've got some pretty cool prizes we're going to be giving away both nights as well.
Wow. So, last year I gave away an AEW replica title, and then I gave away a WWE title, Universal, one of the big main heavyweights. This year we got like some titles, meaning a lot of titles. And if you know those won't hold up your pants for you, well, Davie's got the Cody Rhodes weight belt also.
I wish I just had this for Halloween last year.
Yeah,
it would have completed the costume, but AEW weren't making these. So we've got a game in mind. If you want to get your hands on a Cody Rhodes weightlifting belt, could come into use. You know, you want to start work on that summer bod. Yeah. Get to the gym, do some weightlifting, just
do the work.
Look after your pec, guys. All right.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of pretty fun prizes.
You could do Cody Rhodes Halloween again, like in a year or two, and do like WWE Cody Rhodes. So like do the injured pec, do the really blonde.
That would be quite fun. Yeah.
That belt.
Yeah.
One day
looking better title. In the HD they've got.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got some ideas for Halloween already. For this year
we do, but also open to people's
always open
ideas
to suggestions
for Halloween.
We had Sting and Darby locked pretty early for last
year. We knew we were going to be dad and son for a while, so we did it together. I mean, what's next? FTR bald, FTR hair. Did I just
I feel that would be I don't
want to do the mustache exciting. Yeah, and it's just looking you just kind of look like two good
maybe we've done AEW a couple of years, maybe something switch WWE, maybe we'll see.
I've always wanted to do Stone Cold because I shave my head.
You'd have to shave.
I wouldn't want to shave my
your beard properly.
No, I couldn't do it. We're gonna be doing WrestleMania. It's gonna be a party. There's gonna be trivia games, prizes, drinks, wrestling stuff. We're gonna do trivia games and you're maybe play some wrestling beforehand. The music, all the fun stuff. It's gonna be so much fun. But if you are in the Toronto area, look for us in other places as well. On Sunday, March 26th, it's the Awesome Toy Show, and we were. We were invited to come hang out. They're gonna have like a whole wrestling alley at this convention, this toy show, which seems pretty fun. And then you had the idea of like, hey, why don't we do like a 2K tournament? And this is turning into something pretty crazy too. So you want a chance to go to WrestleMania and win a prize package, and also I think like $200 and more. The prices are just crazy. This tournament's turning into something that we had no idea would turn into something.
Yeah, there's some insane prizes going for this one. So get on your PlayStations and start. It will be on the PS4, unfortunately, because we don't have a PS5 yet. Hey, with that $200, it can go towards a PS5 if you win this thing.
Yeah, exactly. So this is gonna be cool. And if you're a fan of memorabilia and toys and stuff, that's the place to go because everyone's talking about the new Ninja Turtle movie and stuff. I'm sure that's the place I can find some cool turtle toys and stuff. So looking forward to that. Again, Toronto area, awesometoyshow.ca.
And we've also got some awesome shows coming up this month. This March on our Patreon, we put out our Black Mirror review last week where we had Chris Elliott, one of our family member patrons, pick Black Mirror episode 1 and 2. A whole lot of discussion, really, really good chat there, I thought, about not just the show, but kind of, like where the world's going and how Black Mirror kind of is maybe predicting some scary things for us for the future. So I really enjoyed that conversation. We also looked at the December 18th edition from 2013 of NXT.
NXT 200.
Yeah, the 200th episode featuring Adrian Neville versus Bo Dallas for the NXT title in the main event in a lumberjack match.
In the craziest who's who of lumberjacks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this was a pretty fun
And we're pretty good with spotting and knowing some of these rare like appearances from people in NXT, and some of these guys had us absolutely stumped.
Yeah. That was a pretty fun show. NXT we're going into on Was Next. We're going into the year 2014, which has Cesaro versus Regal next week, and I think it's his last match or one of his last matches. So
maybe last televised. I think something like that. Yeah.
So we'll be talking about that as well coming up in a few weeks when we get to that. But yeah, that's been super fun on the Retro NXT reviews. It's the beginning of the month, so it's the best time. I mean, any time is really with that whole Patreon sign up whenever you want. So if you sign up, it's $5, but you get a whole month access. So you can go back and go through all our different reviews and podcasts. But it is WrestleMania season, and we put it up to our fam members. And Jake has picked a WrestleMania, and Sino has picked a WrestleMania. So we'll be going 2 weeks straight of 2 different WrestleMania reviews in March. So looking forward to that.
WrestleMania 11, which is one I don't believe I've ever seen.
It's the
Bam Bam Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
And WrestleMania 19, celebrating the 20-year anniversary of this. So from the sublime to the ridiculous with these two.
Yeah.
And then rounding off the month, next week we're going to be doing another movie review, actually coming out this week now, with one of our top tier patrons, Greg Clark, who has picked Tango and Cash. And his rationale, he was like, all right, it's WrestleMania season, so Stallone's in this film. Stallone was also in Rocky, and Hulk Hogan was in Rocky, and Hulk Hogan was in WrestleMania. So Tango and Cash, it's a WrestleMania film.
At least he didn't pick Stop It or My Mom Will Shoot. It could have been worse,
right.
Davey. Trust me, it could have been a lot worse. So yeah, Tango and Cash, which is definitely another TBS movie.
It's Kurt Russell, Stallone, and Terry Hatcher. Yeah,
it's gonna be great. I love random movie reviews and
why it's been picked.
And why it's been picked. Yeah, Creed is popular. He's in that. No, wait, maybe he's not in that. Yeah, but yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, anyways, you get all those shows and everything else coming out this month. It's only $5 and you get access to like 500 other podcasts.
Patreon.com/Poisonrana. And then finally this week, obviously we've got our NXT show tomorrow up next on the Post Wrestling feed. So youtube.com/Post Wrestling and the Post Wrestling podcast feed. And then John Cena will be doing double duty this week with a new episode of Shot in the Dark, talking about all the shows you might have missed this week in wrestling in 15 minutes or less. I'm sure there's going to be some ROH talk in there with the debut of the new show. And then he'll be back on Friday with B Detroit for a new episode of What Up, Doe, where they'll be talking all things hip-hop, video games, pop culture, and I'm sure they'll be previewing that season finale of The Last of Us, which has been an absolutely excellent series.
Yeah, so we just have all these shows, free shows, Patreon shows, Poisonrana.ca for all the stuff. But follow us, go hit that subscribe. All the little things can go such a long way. And if you like us, let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we like you. Hey, I like you too.
I like you too.
Yeah. We should, should we?
Dive into some Revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AEW.
Kicking things off with Chris Jericho versus Ricky Starks. I thought this was a great idea. I actually loved the match order of this show. I think especially when you know you're going to have an Iron Man match at the end. You're guaranteed at least an hour at the end of the show. I thought starting off with maybe the 2 matches that people were a little like unsure about going in was a good move, because you're going to get that hot crowd. You're going to capitalize on them. You're kicking off the show with Judas, and then actually had a pretty fun opener here between Jericho and Starks.
Yeah, it didn't like overstay its welcome. Last year, I think it was the same pay-per-view. Jericho opened the show.
Kingston.
With Eddie, right? Yeah, and that match was awesome. So I thought this was pretty good as well, and it seems to finally put the button on the...
So the JAS were banned from ringside, apart from Sami trying to get involved and Action Andretti taking him out. This was a clean win from Ricky. Jericho working on his ribs throughout the whole match, and then using the Floyd, the baseball bat to the ribs with a great near fall with Starks kicking out there, and then hitting the Rochambeau on Jericho for the win. Where that move, because Starks isn't the biggest guy, and when you see trying to do it on like a Jericho who's kind of got some timber
like
on him these days. Yeah, I thought this was a pretty fun match, and I'm pleased they gave Ricky Starks this clean win so we can put this to bed. I was worried we were going to have, Action Andretti joining the JAS, and then Andretti and Starks feuding and this thing going on forever. It kind of, elevated Starks, I think, and maybe now we can move him into like the TNT title picture or something like that moving forward.
Yeah, I know people are big fans of Starks, and I am too. But just right now, it's like, where do you want him to be? Do you want him? We just seen him do the MJF feud and match. Is it him to take the TNT title off someone who just wins it back? The title.
I think the aim is with they've kind of condensed the people they're focusing on at the moment, and Stark seems to be one of the guys they're focusing on, and hopefully getting him up to a level like a Darby, where I think Darby's been at the position for a long time now, where you could buy him as soon as they want to put him as a challenger for the title.
Right.
You'll buy it. But they're always keeping him busy. Okay, not on this show.
Yeah.
They're usually keeping him busy with some like interesting mid-card stuff. And I think that's the thing with Starks. It's not necessarily he's going to be in the main event now. But, you know, if he can keep on cutting like promos he did in the MJF feud and putting on good matches like he has against Jericho and MJF, maybe a year or so from now, he could be more viable in that upper tier position.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think there's something that has to make him stand out a bit more that like everyone else. Like, what's the pillars, right, of AEW? Is he considered one of those pillars, or is he one of the killers, really?
He's not a pillar, but right. He's like...
It's like the fifth pillar.
Fifth pillar, I'd say.
Yeah, even I'd give him that for sure. And I feel like all the other ones got their thing, you know, MJF being the biggest, meanest guy, Darby being the zombie turtle kid, Jungle Boy's Jungle Boy, and Luke Perry's son. I
really feel for Starks, a bit more size would help him. Because he's not necessarily a high flyer, is he?
Yeah.
And okay. I think whereas a Darby and a Jungle Boy, they're kind of lack of size, it's almost part of their character. Darby, obviously, just getting flung around all the time. Jungle Boy is more of a high flyer. It suits them. I think for Starks to kind of be like, I mean, he clearly models himself on The Rock and things like that. I think if he beefed up a little bit, I think you could buy him more in that role. But I think he talks like a main eventer, but just you look at him and he looks just that undersized. And he looks like he needs to evolve a bit.
Yeah.
And maybe some juice.
No, like...
no, I'm not saying juice. But, I think we saw with Ospreay when he started packing on some size, you bought him legitimately as more of a main eventer.
Absolutely. When you see anyone argue about, MJF is not a great like champion or this and that, it's like, this guy looks like a pyramid. Like this guy is jacked, stacked. Like this guy looks like he's a world champion. Where like people would criticize Adam Cole for the way he looks sometimes, and it's like the guys you're facing are like, you know, huge jacked dudes. It's like people, a lot of wrestlers are still in fantastic, amazing shape.
I'm not saying I'm not saying bad shape at all.
Yeah.
I'm just to maybe match with his style a bit more.
Sure.
I think he's a small guy doing the spear. The Rochambeau is a power move.
Yeah.
Right. It's not maybe as like I'm trying to think of, because you say, and I agree, he's not there yet, but he kind of does have all the tools to get there at one day.
He will, I think.
But yeah, I'm pleased. I thought this was a fun opener and a good way to kick things off. And Jericho lost again at Revolution.
The feud has to end.
It's got to end.
Yeah.
Please. I don't want a TV one more or anything. Just end it.
Yeah.
Move on.
Go towards the Jericho Garcia thing again if you have to, or anything. Just go.
Yeah. I guess that's where you can keep Jericho busy if he's sticking around.
Then we had a buried alive match.
So this was the final buried. It was more of a casket, wasn't it? Because there was no digging. There was
dirt though.
There was dirt, but they weren't shoveling the dirt. There was no forklift of dropping dirt.
It's pretty hilarious.
It was like a stationary casket match.
Yeah.
With a drop zone thing at the end.
Yeah, what was that?
That's looked terrifying.
Yeah.
Have the lid slammed and then you just drop in.
I would not want to be put in a coffin anyway. Like meaning like if you're alive, right? Like you watch movies like where people get put in them, or like that Goosebumps episode where the kids go down.
Buried with Bryan Reynolds.
Buried. Yeah. Like that seems really scary and terrifying. So to be put in one of these things would kind of freak me out. But this was, I'm still trying to figure out why this was a buried alive match. I know the guy says his dad is dead. I know he says he's gonna kill him, or I don't like. They should have just done the unsanctioned, but I guess they already had one of those later tonight that they're like, okay, we need to add something to this to different.
So I found it a bit of a weird stipulation. They're now having Jungle Boy cut Undertaker style promos, which is a little odd.
Yeah.
I think they justified it enough with the, like, you know, his dad, and like now he's gonna bury essentially his surrogate father. But what I found interesting was these matches tend to be pretty trash.
Right.
So how are they going to do this match with the gimmick and make it work? And I would say this was one of the best, like, buried alive matches I've seen. I thought they had the violence with it feeling separate from your death match later. And I thought they didn't overplay the struggle with trying to get the other in the coffin. I think they both tried maybe once or twice towards the end. It was more about beating the other guy until they're incapacitated to put them in, which was with the finish with the snare trap with the shovel. But I thought this was pretty good. But I think we're burying the lead here with Christian's attire.
Yeah, I mean, he comes out wearing his street fight gear, and it's a turtleneck,
sleeveless turtleneck.
I laughed so
good.
hard. Yeah, that was fantastic. Was he always wearing those kinds of shirts? We always saw him wearing jackets. Was he just?
Were they always sleeveless?
You know. Now we'll never know.
It's like, you know, when the sweater with the shirt underneath was a thing, like the 2-layered, and then you buy them and it's like, no, it's not two, it's just a long sleeve stuck to a short sleeve. Or
like in National Lampoon's Christmas, when Cousin Eddie, he's got like the fake turtle that you can see through his sweater, like going up it. Yeah. You know, I still like enjoyed watching this match, but for something that like felt like this was supposed to be the big final match where they get to face off, it just felt like maybe the build it took too many hits and the injury to make it feel so hot. But
yeah, I'm still glad they went back to it though. I really feel like they needed to cap it off after.
Yeah, is this Christian's write-off?
I feel like it is. I mean, they buried him alive. I also don't see really. I'm not really interested. I like Christian, but I'm not really interested in having him feud with anyone else now.
Yeah,
I think he did his job. You know, he came in, did the Kenny feud, had that little Impact run, and has been mainly there to elevate Jungle Boy, and he has. So I mean, they've just announced August 18th SmackDown in Toronto, and like Edge was kind of hinting last year that he's finishing up. I mean, if you could have Edge and Christian together one more time for a big Toronto show, taking on Kevin and Sami, 4 Canadians in the main event, like, I think that's a pretty sweet way to kind of, you know, maybe retire these guys.
The thing is, he's been out this whole year, and like you kind of forgot about him. And then I thought he cut this great promo last week where I was like, dude, you shouldn't be hanging. You could still be doing this for another like 2-3 years of this kind of run. Because for me, he was always one of the best bad guys, and he still managed to get me wanting to see get his ass kicked. So yeah. As much as him retiring, maybe it is something he would like to do. Maybe it's not. Maybe we will see.
We'll see. Again. So he's been there about 2 years now. Yeah. But we know the thing about injuries and perhaps tacking on months. Right. So we don't, like, the AEW contracts aren't really out there. Yeah. Like, so we don't really know if he's finishing up or not. But I definitely think he still has stuff to offer, clearly. But I just wonder if AEW's the place anymore.
Well, I was also expecting the dinosaur to pop out of the coffin, but that didn't happen.
No.
We didn't. Still no Luchasaurus.
Yeah.
Is there something about his mask?
Yeah, so his mask, the guy who created it is kind of like, yo, you haven't paid me.
Oh,
so
damn. Okay.
Wonder if he'll come back either maskless or with a new
Put him
mask.
with Christian again, but like as the new Tyson Tomko. Like,
well, I feel they've done that.
Yeah.
But I thought we were going to have him return to help Jungle Boy.
Yeah, me too.
And actually be like, Nah, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
I thought so too. But probably one of the lower parts of this show for me was this match, but still, like, if you know, it was still really entertaining.
Again, I thought having this and the Jericho Starks match at the beginning, I wasn't ready for the crazy stuff yet. You know, like, I like warming in, and it was like a nice appetizer before we're getting to like the real meat of the show.
Yeah.
So I think I'd have been a lot more negative on both these matches if they were later in the show, but I thought they were perfect, like, starting off. And then we go on to the Elite versus House of Black. I mean, I don't really have much to say about this one. It's kind of just there, right?
Yeah, this as soon as like they were teasing that this was the possibility of the trios match, yeah, you had my money. I would pay for the pay-per-view just to see this, and boy did it deliver. I mean, this was 18 minutes of just insanity. I don't think they took a break during those 18 minutes, as much as there was an hour-long match later. Like, But these 6 guys were just killing each other and put on a hell of a performance. I've been a huge fan of Kenny and the Bucks for a long time, but House of Black have been chilling, not really been featured as a key characters when I think they could be positioned as something a lot bigger than what they are. And this was the start of that, them finally beating the Elite, taking these titles, and now you can have like a whole run and crazy TV matches with these guys. But these were the 3 unstoppable dudes the past year, really. Like the Elite just got back together to come back and get these titles back, and had great matches with, Death Triangle stuff. But going forward, this is what we kind of want. We want the reset button on the Bucks and on Kenny. If that means they're cooling for a little bit, okay, but there's bigger picture, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I loved this match. As you said, it absolutely didn't stop at all. Yeah. And this was our non-wrestling fans' favorite match of the night.
Yeah,
he thought it was ridiculous.
Honestly, I rewatched this today. I was like, was I just like out of my mind that this match didn't stop? Like, I just remember it just kept going, and everything, there was so much crazy action. I'm like, you know what, I'll just put it on today while I had lunch.
One of the things I really loved about this match is you got the Kenny Omega Buddy Matthews pair up.
Yeah.
And then you got the Kenny Omega Malachi Black pair up. They're 2 singles matches I really wanted to see.
Oh man.
And then they tease Matt Jackson's gonna go in with Brody King. And Brody just kills both the Bucks. So then it's Kenny v Brody. Yeah. So you get all 3 of those like little matches in it. Almost like, when you're doing a Royal Rumble and you or a Survivor Series, and you finally get that like dream pair together.
Exactly, yeah.
There was some crazy spots.
Oh, the battle of the knees. I mean, Aleister Black with his bicycle knees, and Kenny with his V-trigger knees.
And Buddy.
Yeah,
well.
Everyone just hitting all the crazy moves.
I do want now the Bucks and Kenny to move into some things a bit more serious. I kind of feel this trios division is really there to keep people busy when they're not maybe focused in more prioritized feuds.
Of course.
Which I'd say the same with like a Malachi and a Buddy. I would like to see, and a Brody. I'd like to see in more meaningful singles matches down the line, because I really don't think, especially Black, we really haven't scratched the surface with him in AEW. He's had the Cody feud and then being in this trios. So I wonder, I think you're going to have to throw a few more teams together, because we've seen House of Black and Death Triangle before. You can, the what is it, Top Flight and AR Fox could be really fun against these guys. We maybe need a few more teams put together.
Matt Taven,
the Kingdom with Adam Cole.
Yeah,
maybe not.
What other trios? They have a lot of these guys though.
Ooh, that was really loud.
They have a lot of these other guys though in their thing that they can put together, and they'll always grab people from like other companies to bring in like AAA guys or whatever. So.
And maybe that's the thing with this whole division is you don't really need stories. Yeah. You're just going to have like a nuts 15-minute match. I wonder how much, like, because don't get me wrong, this match is excellent.
This was awesome.
I wonder how much at the end of the year a match like this is going to stand out, because, and this is credit to these guys, they do a lot of these really, really good matches. Yeah. But I wonder how much it stands out, like, compared to like the Iron Man match, which I think I'm going to remember for a long, long time.
Yeah, fair enough.
The end of the year.
Fair enough. I think this was something I'll definitely. It made me go, wow! I don't think anything could top that tonight. And then by the end of the night, I was like, you know what? I did like another match over, but it was really this match that made me like just go, yeah, I love. The crowd were really into it. Like everyone was on point, and I thought the spot with Julia Hart was awesome.
Oh yeah, so
because like. The little things, right? So like it's Julia accidentally eating the V trigger.
Yeah.
And Kenny is just like, I don't care.
It reminds me of like at work, like say it's a busy night and there's someone standing in the door where the kitchen is. Right. And I'm going back and forth. And I ask this guy like 5 times, excuse me, you can't stand there.
Right.
And eventually I come out the kitchen, bump into him, and he drops his drink. I'm like, I told you, like, that sucks, but that's how it was with Julia Hart. Yeah, he's like trying not to hit her
so many times.
And then when he eventually does hit her, it's like, well, you know what? You kind of fucking deserve it.
There was great camera. She looks great too. All their gear and attire looked good. Kenny looked like he was wearing the tights that he fought Danielson in too as well. Like changes to it, but it looked cool. The Bucks obviously wearing the California colors, but like the House of Black were some spooky, scary looking dudes. They were
Brody, especially gold, with the white.
Yeah, the black, white. Yeah. Julia Hart. The whole package looked awesome. So I'm looking forward to seeing the House of Black go forward. We were lucky enough to see them at a Super Kick show a few months back, and we were like, man, these guys are on point. So I'm happy that they're getting this push, and you'll see them on TV. This is the right move.
Yeah, and hopefully it opens up bigger things for the Elite.
It opens up the Bucks and Kenny Omega to be in a feud with FTR and CM Punk.
All right.
Maybe, possibly. A dream.
Why would you do that without the titles, though?
Yeah,
I don't know.
The trios?
I feel them dropping the titles. I feel they're maybe going out of this division.
Right. Separating
themselves.
I
think so. That's what I want, anyway. Yeah. Although that would be good if we ever get that. But
yeah.
I've got some Punk and FTR thoughts coming up. We then had our women's championship match. Jamie Hayter defending in a triple threat match against Saraya and Ruby Soho.
Yeah, probably the least interest in any of the matches tonight, just because this match felt like it was kind of thrown apart, and the one story.
It's just been a horrible story, hasn't it?
And you could look at it the other way and say like, well, sorry, this was the only women's match on this entire pay-per-view. But like, what did they even?
What else deserves to be on there?
Like
really?
Right now, AEW's women division just feels like it's just Jamie Hayter, and all this stuff with Saraya and Toni Storm, and now Ruby Soho is just so stupid. And I just don't care. It looks. Like the whole storyline and where it's gonna go now, because now it's gonna it's going further, because they add Ruby to the group by the end of this thing. It's like, I just don't care. It's just bad. There was some good stuff in it, and again, all the credit to Jamie Hayter. She looked the part. She looks like a champion with her crazy like Joshi inspired gear.
Yeah, I really liked her look.
Yeah, her look looked awesome, and her look. She was the one who had looked like she had to do a lot of the work in this match with Saraya and Ruby. And I'm not, I am fans of both Paige and Saraya, and Saraya and Ruby, but since coming to AEW, Saraya really just.
I think this was her best outing.
Yeah,
I think this is the best in-ring that she's looked.
But she had two other people.
For sure, yeah. Like, a sensible match to book then, maybe. If you want to get your use out of Saraya, and obviously you're probably spending a bit of money on her and see her as a star and want her in matches on the pay-per-view, this is probably a better way to go about it than putting her in a singles. But I did think she stepped up here and started to look better. Like, she needs new names for her moves. Like, they're still just
Page Turner,
not calling the Rampage, the PTO, the Page Turner. I thought her Rampage actually looked really good in this match.
The Saraya Turner, the next chapter,
the night,
Night, right? Saraya Night.
Yeah, the Nightmare, whatever.
The Nightmare, yeah.
But yeah, as you said, Ruby Soho joining Saraya and Toni at the end. I think we're leading to Blood and Guts, Anarchy in the Arena with the women this year to kind of shake things up. And I could see like Ember perhaps joining Saraya, Toni, and Ruby.
So all the WWE people.
Yeah, and then like, I think maybe if like because apparently, I mean, you wouldn't put Reba in the match anyway, but apparently she's kind of being phased out.
She hasn't been shown in a while,
I could see maybe if they get on good terms, Thunder Rosa joining the originals, perhaps, if she's due a comeback. I'd like to see Jade Cargill in that position, like finally actually have her say hello to some of the others in this division who aren't just your AEW Dark women.
Right.
Or, I mean, the Bellas were backstage last night.
Could
they be joining Team WWE?
They're so upset of how they were treated at Raw 30.
Yeah.
That they want to join.
That they're going to join Ruby, Saraya, and Toni to take on the team of Britt, Jamie, Thunder Rosa, Hikaru Shida, and Jade Cargill. Book it.
Oh, man.
In blood and guts.
Yeah. Stadium Stampede.
You know Brie will bleed. The Lethal Weapon.
Bleed mode.
Brie Bella, yeah.
The Lethal Weapon, yeah. That's why they wear red gear, to match the color of blood. They're BCC for life.
Yeah.
Jamie retaining. I kind of hope they go away from this, that she's not involved with this storyline, because like if we're like I get what you're saying. They will go to a multi-person like blood and guts.
I would prefer to her have a meaningful singles championship feud, and then have the other women doing this faction warfare thing. I see them lumping it all together.
They just don't have anyone else that's like viable. You could do Athena versus Jamie.
Athena's doing the ROH thing at the moment, though, right?
Did she quit?
No. Yeah, I did think this was better than I like. It was a bad build, so I had lack of interest that way. But I think once this match actually got going, you've got, especially with Jamie, but Ruby's no slouch either. I thought they put together a pretty good match here. And then we go to our Texas Death match.
Texas Death.
Hangman Adam Page taking on Jon Moxley. And I'm going to get my gripe out the way first. And I say this every time AEW do a Texas Death match. This ain't a Texas Death match, so why call it a Texas Death match? We ain't in Texas. Neither of these guys are from Texas. The rules aren't the rules of a Texas Death match. And they've even changed it because they have just been last man standing matches in the past. And this ended in submission. Yeah. So just call it something else.
To be fair.
That being said, I have no other criticisms about this match.
Like, Moxley did just say Texas Death, and then people were like, so wait, is it a Texas Death match or like something else? Because clearly they're like, yo, we're not doing that.
San Fran Death match, Bay Area.
A San Francisco Death match? Yeah, what would that consist of?
Somewhere on the Tenderloin, yeah.
With Full House theme playing somehow, some way. That's in San Francisco, right?
I don't know. I just know the scary areas, the Tenderloin, and by listening to Stephanie Chase's adventures in San Fran, I'm pretty sure that's where she's staying.
Okay, great. Detroit wasn't enough for her.
Yeah, no, that area is scary. Like, that's I walk in the middle of the road, scary, that area, and it's right by all these nice areas as well. So you find yourself just accidentally making the wrong turn quite often.
Yeah, well, there was no Texas Death in this match, but it was like a pretty much just a violent match where it was pin or submission is kind of what they said.
I think, was it pin as well or just submission knockout?
Yeah,
I don't know. But yeah,
but like looking back at old Texas Death matches, the stip is great because it's violent and stuff, but the actual 10 count pinning thing is stupid.
The rules are stupid, but like them the rules, call it something else. Like, you came up with a different name for your final burial match or whatever. Like, don't
just call it something else.
Yeah. Like, it'd be like saying, oh, we're doing an Iron Man match, but the way to win is in 20 minutes and just by count out or something. And you're like, what? Okay, well, that's not an Iron Man match, is it?
That you're right, but the match was awesome.
The match was awesome.
Yeah, these two definitely going out there and just killing each other. You know, there was lots of blood. Hangman coming out to a new theme.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That's like unfortunate. The theme is awesome. It's what I thought was an original Johnny Cash song. But I forget who it was, the actual person, but the Outlaws. So like this song has been covered a million times by like so many different bands. So it is still a cool cowboy song. I'm sure it'll like grow on us, but his last theme was awesome.
It's a cool song. I don't think it works for entrance.
Yeah. Unless it was a one-off because it was Texas Death Match or I don't know.
Okay. His theme's so good.
Yeah, his theme is awesome. And his theme is
I wouldn't have messed with this.
Is like music they purchased. Like it's been used in car commercials and stuff. It's kind of like a Good, the Bad, the Ugly ripoff or whatever. But it's so good that fits him so well. So
it's a shame.
I love this entrance. This was Red Dead Redemption coming out here, Hangman Page. I knew there was going to be blood. This guy had an evolved look, I thought, actually. He like looked a bit more serious. Again, with the different graphics, Red Dead Redemption vibes, black leather jacket. He wasn't wearing no butterfly pants tonight, you know? Like, this was the Hangman I really like seeing. And our friend Jesse, who's over, Hangman's his biggest guy. And, like, seeing the entrance, I could tell Jesse was like, oh, yeah, Hangman's fucking someone up tonight. And that's exactly what he did, because he reminded us of why they call him the Hangman. That's how we won the match.
Yeah, very Bruiser Brody, Terry Funk-esque, hanging Mox.
Stan Hansen, Terry Funk?
Stan Hansen, Stan Hansen, Terry Funk. Hanging Moxley with was it a chain at the end? So Mox tapped. Not the only Blackpool Combat Club member to tap out tonight. Yeah, fantastic. Just bloody, violent, like, stuff you were definitely watching through your hands with the fork.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the fork stuff was the triangle hold, just stabbing the fork, and you started seeing the blood just, it's like in movies, like, you know, in Shaun of the Dead, where they're whacking the zombie with the cricket bat, and you just see the blood start splatting all over them. Yeah.
There was one where it literally, like, it was like, what's that, American Psycho? Like, the blood just splattered.
disgusting, but so compelling. Both these guys, like this has been maybe the best build to this kind of match. And Hangman also is now like the king of the death match in AEW, right?
Does he always win them?
He had the Texas Death against Adam Cole, which he won. Texas Death against Lance Archer, which he won. I feel like he's had other bloody, violent matches in there.
What was his match with Joey Janela at All In? That was kind of violent. Was it the Cracker Barrel death
match? Yeah. So he's like undefeated in these kind of stipulation, and I like that. Whereas you think of him as this like sweet, anxious millennial cowboy, but he's always stepped up to these matches. So I think that's something they could run with for his character, that he's undefeated in this. I see this as perhaps the Double or Nothing match for MJF.
Yeah.
Hangman. I think there's history between them. I don't think Hangman's beaten MJF. They had that match for the Diamond Ring, like right at the beginning of Dynamite. So I think there's something you can have for that with Hangman, trying to get his title back, but also trying to get that win over MJF. And I think you elevated Hangman with this match, and Moxley kind of, being heelish. We've seen him lean heel in these matches where he's just getting super violent. But I think the low blow in this was like, you can stab people in forks is a death match. As soon as you punch a man in the beanbag, it's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, you're a bad guy.
That's a bad guy move. And with Yuta and Claudio being a bit more heelish now.
I just see Moxley finally going fishing.
Like,
with his fork. He'll go fishing. Just go away for a little bit and take a month or two off and then come back, and I bet there'll be a spot in a feud ready.
Would that be, if we're talking about the trios division as something to like chill big names when they're not in singles programs?
Absolutely.
Yuta, Claudio, and Mox taking on House of Black or something like
the
that?
next pay-per-view.
Could be something to have, but let the man fish.
Yeah, let the man go fish. Be a dad. Stop bleeding.
You
think on his days off he bleeds?
just to make sure it still works. Practices.
I got my Halloween costume set for Halloween. I'm just gonna have a bloody face. Who are you? Oh, I'm John
Moxley. Yeah. Then we go forward to our TNT title match. Samoa Joe taking on Wardlow.
Yeah, look, Samoa Joe is one of my all-time favorites, and I felt like the past few years he's been he wore his poncho. I thought it was over, and then he came back to AEW.
Injury.
Yeah, he came back to AEW, and he wasn't doing too much, but it was really the Darby feud that just reinvigorated my fandom of Joe. And I think as much as they kind of ruined Wardlow with the whole dropping the title and the shenanigans this way and that way, triple threat and so forth, but I wasn't excited to see this match, and I think if they just pulled the trigger on it when they should have, like a few months back, it would have made it a bit more important and special. And now we've just seen this TNT title keep flipping back, and now it's back on Wardlow, and like now it's just like, what do I care now?
It's like, I thought they had a fine match. I thought it was a Dynamite match.
Yeah.
And like Dynamite matches are pretty good, but it was also in a bit of a death spot following that Texas death match. And this title has been flip-flopped a lot. You had the Wardlow Joe feud, as you said, which suddenly Hobbs was inserted in for the Full Gear match.
Yeah.
And then Joe won it by beating Hobbs, and then Darby beat Joe, and then Joe beat Darby, and now Wardlow's beating Joe again. And I wouldn't be surprised if Hobbs beats Wardlow on Wednesday for this thing. So it's been hot potatoed a lot. I kind of feel there is momentum going with Hobbs right now. So I kind of feel...
I would take Hobbs over
kind of do feel you should pull the trigger with that. And then maybe because the way you've told the story with Wardlow and Joe, with Joe taking Wardlow's hair and that being the connection with his dad and stuff, you kind of had to have Wardlow win this. But I do still feel with Wardlow, like you compared to a year ago, how hot he was with this MJF feud compared to now. And even though you've given him this title now a second time, that there's something just has missed.
Yeah.
And I it's not necessarily his fault, but I don't know at this point what he can do to sort of bring it back.
He's got to
grow. And I don't think this match was necessarily it.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad, but
I didn't care for it.
Yeah. when you think of all the other stuff on this show, it's the match I remembered the least.
Yeah, probably. I think we know the issue is he needs to grow back the man bun.
Yeah.
As soon as he does, the power will come back. Maybe. He'll become Goldberg again.
I really hope him and Hobbs just have an absolute hoss fight on Wednesday, and they really turn some heads. What was I was going to say something else about this match. Oh, the one thing I liked was Samoa Joe passing out here from the choke.
His own choke.
But it was a great setup for the main event, because they did the 3-arm raise, where normally that's like a hope spot where the third it's going down and then
maybe that's why this finish sucked. Yeah.
But they did that because it comes into play majorly in the Bryan MJF match. So I think, whereas we've seen them just wave the hand and be like, no, I like the end. I liked Wardlow choking out Joe. And that's three matches on this show where you're kind of submitting a guy who doesn't normally tackle, doesn't normally pass out. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, then we had the tag team fatal 4-way match. The Ass Boys, which if you saw the posters, the signs that went up, people in the venue that said, do not call them Ass Boys.
Right.
The Ass Boys have asked kindly that no one call them that, so that people would call them that even more. This fatal 4-way match got a lot of people's head scratching when the teams were revealed after 2 weeks of 2 different tag team battle royals. I never want to see a tag team battle royal ever again. All to set up this fatal 4-way match, which it was the Acclaimed hoping to get them back from the Gun Club, the Guns, and then Jay Lethal and pay-per-view Jeff Jarrett also making an appearance here, and the team of Orange Cassidy and Danhausen, which I think that's one where people were like, okay, that's kind of bizarre. But I thought for what it was pretty fun. All 4 teams were just doing all fun stuff, interacting with each other.
This was in the Sting slot, right?
Yeah.
This is
the Jeff Jarrett spot now, maybe.
Yeah, pre-main event. You need just some comedy, some ridiculousness.
Some Jeff Jarrett.
As a match with these 8 guys, I'm totally for it. It does feel that the tag championship has lost its, don't know if credibility is the right word, but maybe luster. You know, you've got just a bunch of comedy acts here going for it, and this tag thing, still a lot of people's favorite match ever was over this championship, Hangman and Kenny against the Bucks, and this is not that. But I thought it was an entertaining match. I understand wanting to get Orange Cassidy on the show because he's great.
Him and Danhausen. I mean, Danhausen doesn't wrestle a whole lot, so to him almost make him the Brock Lesnar attraction here. Yeah. You want to see him actually wrestle?
He actually because I haven't watched him a bunch.
He got squashed.
I don't find his comedy particularly funny for me, but I thought he actually looked pretty good here and had some. When you had the stuff with Satnam Singh, who's just giant, and Danhausen trying to curse him, and Orange, white men can't jump, but this guy had hops. He's hitting nuts. That Superman punch on the 8-foot-tall giant.
He's nuts. There. Orange Cassidy, you could tell he's so trained in proper lucha stuff. This guy must hustle. He must train how to do this constantly without slipping up on some of those spots. But this was pretty funny.
Great near fall with Jeff Jarrett hitting the stroke where you really thought they were gonna win.
That's why I like this match.
I could have bought anyone here winning this.
Yeah, I bet on that Jeff Jarrett would walk out as champion, and that didn't happen. And then the Guns just pick up the win.
Guns pick up the win, and the silence after was deafening.
It was
just
so
crickets.
quiet.
And people were loud for this match. They were getting into the Acclaimed scissoring spots. They were getting into Danhausen and Orange. It's kind of that Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal are actually getting great heat now, I think. Because I think there was that thing, why are they taking up so much TV time? And then people have been like, fuck, they're actually pretty entertaining.
They should have won.
And they've been having some good matches. So
I'd almost prefer the feud with FTR to be with Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, because I feel like that'd be more entertaining matches. But I do love the 310 to Yuma, though. Shout out.
Like a 3D flatliner kind of thing.
310 to Yuma. Well, these guys celebrate to, like you said, not a really receptive crowd. Not even just quiet.
Not boos. It was just like, oh,
it's quiet.
Okay.
But then the real pop hit when FTR make their return to come down, beat up the Guns. They hit the shitter machine, and hold the titles up. So clearly they've returned. They want the titles. They're winning the titles.
And I would think pretty soon.
Yeah.
I would see this on a Dynamite. I don't see this stretching to Double or Nothing by any means. I think this is FTR getting those titles. What is it? April? Their contracts expire.
Really?
Yeah. So, which is before Double or Nothing. So, I would think them coming back might indicate that they are sticking around.
Right.
Because
okay.
April's not far away.
So we're not getting FTR, Edge, and Christian versus the Judgment Day, but we're getting FTR and Punk versus the Elite.
Maybe. So their new shirt says FTR live in color, or you could read it as live in color.
Right. Okay.
You know, cult of personality, live in color.
I don't
know if that's a clue.
I love their shirts. This one's to NXT 2.0 for me. I was like,
too colorful.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna copy paste the paint thing and splatter. I know the next.
I just felt it was maybe a little clue,
cheeky.
A little nod, a little wink.
I mean, the little winks is if you follow CM Punk on Instagram, he's been very cheeky in the past little while. Even today, posting certain things that you're like, okay, you're coming back.
Who do you see if FTR win these titles? Who do you see like the big feud being with? Are we just going back to Bucks FTR at Double or Nothing to finally have the rubber match there?
I'm for it. That match would sell.
I think they're going to keep Acclaimed away from the titles for a bit. The fact that they very deliberately didn't have them face and have FTR get it off of them makes me think that Acclaimed are maybe they'll do some trios with Billy.
Of course.
Yeah.
They'll get beat up by the House of Black, but yeah, that could be all right. Hearing him rap about the spooky tattoo men and the one non-tattooed Aussie. Let's do it. Book it. Yeah. Going forward, FTR coming back does the little teases with the shirt, the little teases like that does make me believe that there is a bigger picture, especially set for Double or Nothing. So they announced Double or Nothing in May, and I'm kind of like,
I was looking at flights.
That would be a pretty fun trip. Just saying. So May 28th.
Maybe we'll have to see.
But then we went to the main event, the Iron Man match.
Oh yeah,
1 hour long. These two guys are gonna fight, and after 1 hour, it's gonna go to a draw.
Our friend going, wait, they're gonna wrestle for an hour? That's ridiculous. How are they gonna do that? How are they gonna wrestle for an hour?
Well, they did.
They did.
And some. This
is my kind of match. This was brilliant. I loved all the early stuff with MJF trying to, like, it took MJF a long time before he started cheating. Right? Because he was trying to show, I can hang with you wrestling wise. You had that awesome sequence where they're just doing pin attempts back and forth for like a couple of minutes. Just all these roll-ups was awesome. And then was it Danielson gets the first fall in like 25 minutes?
MJF, I think, eats two falls pretty back-to-back somewhat because it's Danielson just killing it. I think he hits the Busaiku knee, gets the first fall, and then again gets
taps
another.
Him out, I think.
Yeah, so he really is like washing him there. But then something we've not seen, this is like video game tactics here, where MJF hits him in the balls, gets a DQ, and then pins him twice in a row.
So that was a nice thing they added in the rules here, was there's no rest period.
Yeah.
It is like the video game.
Yeah.
You get the fall, the match continues.
There's no break.
And I thought it made complete logical sense of MJF cheating at that point to then go up two falls.
Right.
The only thing was, like, it could have done with a bell ring or like Justin Roberts calling it, but I also felt it felt almost a bit more real with, like, oh shit, he just picked up two falls.
They hit a goal.
Like, I think after that Justin should have said something on the mic to make it clear, because there was a bit of confusion and they were slow with the graphics putting up the score.
It was the commentary also, we're not sure. They were like, oh, he got one, and it's like, no, I think he got two, and then they're like, no, he got two.
He got two.
Yeah. That was fantastic. Like you said, they were like wrestling, and obviously Danielson can wrestle an hour. We've seen it in AEW, we've seen it in elsewhere in his career, and especially in the indies and stuff. But to see MJF, like, in him just hang, and they meshed really well together, just as we kind of figured they would. Danielson, such a easy, likable, pure baby face, and MJF, the best bad guy going, right? So it just felt like a proper classic match. And there was a lot of callbacks to some older Iron Man matches with certain spots, and obviously MJF posing like Sean, but then a lot of like throwbacks to Danielson's career with like some indie stuff, and then like I swear MJF was busting out some like all Japan style stuff in this match as well, like some crazy drivers
the like avalanche tombstone, the running tombstone through a table, like that was insane.
Elbow drop off the top.
The elbow drop through the table was great.
It, man,
it was went through stages, just started like amping up the violence as it went along. I loved MJF constantly going for water breaks to like sell the exhaustion of this hour-long match. Whereas Danielson is like, I could do this all day.
I could do this.
Throwing water in a kid's face.
Oh,
I think we're going to be on the same page here with
this. You know how I feel about kids.
So apparently, the kid was upset. The mom was mad. Like, I'm sorry. Like in 10 years' time, in 20 years' time, you're going to be that kid who MJF threw water in their face.
Yeah.
That's great.
Origin
he didn't
story.
throw hot coffee at you. He threw water or maybe Sprite. You might be a bit sticky.
Okay, well,
you get some legit heat, and you're that kid.
Look, there's different ways you can analyze, because I like Twitter today. Everyone's like, "Oh, this, that," or people defending it and loving it and this and that. It's okay. He took someone's drink and threw it at them. Was it a water? I don't think it was. I think it was a mixed drink. I think it was like, people are saying it was tequila soda or something like that. It looked like water, but it was in a cup with ice, so you figured it was a drink. Therefore, that's like a $35 American drink right there. So MJF,
so you feel bad, the guy drinking it, absolutely.
But it looks as if it was like the mom and her kid, and this kid's just chilling there, like, and
his AEW.
Yeah, he's just enjoying the graps, and he gets this drink which probably has alcohol in it thrown on him, and he's just like, and then the match continues. Yeah, it's bad the kid got tequila on him, but they got him backstage after. They gave him pictures with wrestlers. They chatted him up. They were fine. I could see people getting upset, but the fact that everyone got riled up and discussing this today and like, oh, how could you do this with the kid? He got you. He worked you. You got upset.
It's one of those things where I think it's great, and I think MJF should get away with this shit because he is the guy. He's the biggest cunt in wrestling, excuse me. But the thing is, if you now see from this, every guy who thinks they're a bad guy at an indie show throwing drinks in kids' faces and stuff, and you're like, sorry, you're not there yet. Like, in AEW, all this shit should just be reserved for MJF. He's the ultimate bad guy.
You see that stuff in indies and stuff like that, and sometimes it doesn't work because then people are getting like, will get really mad and not know if you're like.
We were at a Demand Lucha show, and this dad was getting furious at this wrestler. Like, he got up to like, because this wrestler got in his kid's face. They didn't touch him or anything. It was just like getting in his face. You saw this dad who'd had a few beers rolling up his sleeves, getting up, and our friend Tom, security, was like, yo, chill.
It's okay. It's not
wrestling.
Yeah. I'm thinking back to like Sasha Banks and Izzy with the headband, right? Like, that was some mean shit. You actually took something from this kid and broke it.
Izzy got over it. She's at all the press conferences now.
She's backstage at this show probably, so she's fine. She's probably talking to this kid like, trust me. I know
it gets better.
Yeah. Trust me, you're gonna have a podcast soon. You're gonna become a wrestler. You're gonna be great.
Like, I saw Jay Lethal throw a ladder in a guy's face.
Yeah, like I've seen a lot of stuff at wrestling shows.
Having a drink thrown at you, whatever.
Yeah. As I always say, F them kids, bro.
But back to the match. Just, I thought this was a masterpiece. And
absolutely.
I thought they did a lot of our criticisms when we watch like a 2 out of 3 falls or an elimination match or something like that is, why are they suddenly getting pinfalls
on DDTs
after like 7 minutes in after DDTs? This was a pretty high scoring Iron Man match. It was 3-3, but I felt every fall made sense. You're 25 minutes into the match when Bryan puts him away with the Busaiku knee. Like, that makes sense. You then have him tap out. You then have MJF cheat. And then, like, in the latter parts where you're like 45 minutes, 50 minutes, 55 minutes, of course, more falls are going to come because you're exhausted. and I thought they played the drama at the end with the submissions. I love the submission where MJF gets the ropes and taps, so Bryan thinks he's tapped. And I also love with MJF. I think cheating does get stale with some people, but again, like with this guy, the cheating is his finisher.
Yeah.
It's like no one kicks out the one-winged angel. You know, as soon as that's hit, it's game over. With MJF, it's like that with how is he going to cheat? Because you know he ain't going to just win with the Heat Seeker or whatever. He's going to do something dastardly.
He got a fall with the Heat Seeker earlier, so then when later he hits it and Danielson kicks out and fires up, it's like a great moment, right? So same with Danielson hitting the Psycho knee and he kicks out of it again later. Danielson hitting the flying T-bone headbutt, and then MJF just bleeding everywhere. There was great stuff.
And then the after the 60 minutes, they did the thing you see in New Japan where they're running out and doing the ice packs, and they're doing the oxygen masks on MJF, which is perfectly there. This cylinder to use once they go into overtime. He uses that against Bryan. Still doesn't put him away. Yeah. He's trying with the ring. And Bryce catches the ring, I think, as he's applying a submission. Yeah. He's like, whoa, what's that?
And he takes it.
I thought it was done brilliantly. And then having Danielson tap out after all that. And I think in kind of Iron Man matches, I kind of feel the cheating is sort of fair game. It's like, we've got an hour, who's going to win this? And, you know, MJF, it's like, I deliberately sacrificed a fall. I might have sacrificed another if the ref caught me there. So I think it felt like a definitive win for MJF. I think that's the end of this feud. But this possibly my match of the year so far.
Yeah, this was fantastic. The way they had multiple falls, and then by the end, MJF doesn't give up, and then it's a tie. So then you see Tony Schiavone on commentary being told from his boss, Tony Khan, telling Tony, his favorite journalist here in AEW, to go down to the ring and tell Justin Roberts that we're going into overtime, sudden death, my least favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. And then the like 6 minutes that they go after that or whatever is just insane. It's such a like whirlwind, and it brought me back to like old school huge big matches. To me, MJF is Triple H in AEW. I know he says he loves Triple H and he quotes him all the time and all that. Like, to me, he's that guy.
His match is more exciting.
Yeah, he's like better Triple H. Yeah, he's a better Triple H.
There was not a dull moment.
No,
in
way
this
better
match.
than
And
what other Iron Man's. Like, I feel like Triple H has been in some.
Triple H, The Rock, which I
it's
enjoyed.
pretty good. Yeah,
it's pretty fun. Great ending with Taker coming out.
Yeah.
You had Brock and Kurt Angle on SmackDown, which was really good. I don't count the 30-minute ones because we see enough of 30-minute matches. It isn't the same.
Yeah.
It's not the same as going to 60.
Yeah, I liked Shawn and Kurt Angle 30-minute Raw one. But again, if they went an hour, that would have been a whole different thing. But obviously, everyone goes and compares back to Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, WrestleMania, 1 hour long. Like,
which is trash.
Which like... It was the first one. A lot of that match is stalling, is chilling, is laying down.
I don't think I saw a headlock in this match.
This one like was an hour where it felt like it was like 4 different matches and like
I was wanting it to go to overtime.
Yeah,
you know, when that clock hit 1 minute, I was like, I'm not ready for this to end. I've just watched an hour of this plus 3 hours previously of other matches.
Yeah,
I wasn't ready for this to end, like, which is a real testament to these guys.
Yeah, I loved all this. I even loved the wicked Poisonrana from Danielson near the end as well. You know, we love our Poisonranas out there. But Danielson getting the hope spots at the end, the oxygen tank coming into play from MJF, getting the win there. Like, it felt like definitely the best Iron Man match that has taken place.
I think so.
Like, easily.
I looked on Cage Match today, and obviously it's kind of recency bias. But it's had over 300 votes so far, and it's standing at a 9.71, which currently puts it as the 17th greatest match of all time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people are giving it some praise. I would give this 5 stars, no problem.
I'd go 5 stars easily.
Yeah, this was fantastic. Definitely delivered.
It's up there with Omega Ospreay
from this year. Yeah, it maybe was really just
because I I'm really into these two guys. It might be my match of the year so far.
They meshed really well together, and they made you want to watch more than an hour of them wrestling, which is crazy. We've seen Danielson do this a lot, but MJF was not only hanging, like, won the match, and it was really good, because we do best match ever podcasts where we go back and revisit some stuff. We've done, like, we've looked at the Iron Man once before. We've looked at a lot of these, like, Ric Flair Steamboats, and similar thing, right? They go like almost an hour long. Broadway is they would say, and like, I still think going an hour, like, you have to be crazy talented to have someone's attention. Like, for us to be like, okay, I need to go to the washroom. There's still 40 minutes left in this match, but I don't want to miss this match. So like, it would be tough to be watching this live, right? Like, what if you really got to pee, but you're like, go from the beginning of the match.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a fantastic match. It was my match of the night, but like I mentioned earlier, that 6 trios man match was fantastic. But this was a great show.
I put this first. I put the death match second, and the trios.
Oh,
third.
Right, yeah. See, this show's stacked.
But like, you could argue any of those 3 matches. At the end, MJF repeatedly saying, and I saw him do it in the press conference as well, calling himself the best in the world. I think Punk's coming back.
Okay, so point. Punk versus MJF at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, you could do that.
Right? Like, finish that feud. Let them do that.
Do you do Punk and Hangman on TV?
Is Punk Hangman a match? I guess that's the match you got to go to. But, like, we just saw Hangman.
That's what, if I was a boss, I'm like, look, if you're going to come here, you guys got to work together. Figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm going to lock you in a room, and then you're going to put on a really nice match, the two of you.
Well, I saw
shake hands and be friends. You're grown adults.
You could go Hangman or Punk at Double or
I think
Nothing.
we'll see an Adam Cole MJF match at some point as well.
True.
Because they're building him up as a big baby face.
MJF or Hangman or MJF Punk will be your main event.
It definitely I think if Punk is back, I think that is the match. We've got to have that final thing. I think it also further solidifies MJF as the guy, beating Danielson, beating Punk, and beating Moxley. And yeah, just the constant best in the world, but also at the press conference, the towel around his neck, and then instead of cookies, it's dill pickles.
Oh man,
He's like, I love these are tremendous. You got to go and get these pickles.
He was killing me when I watched this clip today, because it's the one where he's like, "You want this one?" And everyone's like, "No." These reporters or podcast people, they're like, "No." And he's like, "You sure? Like, trust me, you want one." And it's like him being nice because the pickles are so good.
So you like it? No, fuck off.
Yeah, I know you. You're the anti-pickle man.
Yeah.
You hate pickles. In fact, if I have picklebacks or open a jar of pickles in your vicinity, you almost.
I'm better. I work with them so much that I don't have that gag thing anymore. I did actually. We've had this show in town, and it's a bunch of British people, and it was their last night the other day. They've been going there for 7 weeks to my bar every single day.
Yeah.
And so I got them a round of shots at the end, and I was like, I don't know if you've had this, but you've been here 7 weeks. You can't really leave Canada without having a pickleback.
Right.
So it gave them all whiskey with a
shot of
a
pickle
chaser
juice.
of pickle juice. And they're like, "Where's yours?" I was like, "It's gross." Like, you're having it.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, like if you like pickles, it's a good thing.
Watching MJF cut promos with the CM Punk look and eating pickles made me go into our fridge, and I have some kosher dills in the fridge, and he influenced me to eat a pickle after seeing this. But that was CM Punk. That was like
absolutely
like the muffins, the pickle, the towel, the way he was doing it. So I say that could also again be the next big match that going forward. I see him coming back. I see him working things out. Hopefully,
the one thing I'd question with that is I totally think you should bring Punk back as a heel, and I don't know if that works because I don't see them turning MJF babyface anytime soon. Yeah. I think eventually you could do a babyface MJF and a heel Punk,
right?
But we've only recently teased the babyface thing with MJF, so I don't think that will work. And I think Punk coming back after everything he said and Brawl Out and being put right back into the title picture, I could see turning people against him and definitely giving him a heel reaction.
Eventually he could do it, yeah. But I feel like right now him just is still popular and still CM Punk. But like eventually you could go that route for sure. But I'd say this pay-per-view like did good for them. Like it just was a solid show, and I felt like it flew by the matches.
Yeah.
Like it felt like there was less matches because one of them was an hour plus, but like 3 standout matches that like we'll definitely be talking about in the next year and for quite a while. So
and nothing like bad at all. I'd say Samoa Joe Wardlow was my least favorite match of the night, but like everything was pretty strong. This so far is my front runner for pay-per-view of the year.
Easily.
I think it's going to take a lot to top this, but we'll see.
We'll see. WrestleMania is around the corner.
WrestleMania is around the corner, and you know where you can see that? Gabby's 309 King Street West. Go to poisonrana.ca for your tickets.
Yeah, this was a solid pay-per-view watch. Loved this Iron Man match, and I think it will be tough to pick match of the year because definitely, I think it deserves the praise that it is so far getting from your cage matches or so far. Yeah. Well, I'm sure Uncle Dave Meltzer will give this a high rating.
I would think
it wasn't in the
even
Tokyo
though he
Dome.
threw a drink at
a kid,
little boy, and he said that will cost me a star, Dave.
Yeah, he did say that. Yeah.
Any other final thoughts on the pay-per-view?
I'm trying to think of some other things. I mean, like, no, I would say like the going into this was not as hyped as most of the shows. Even some of our friends were like, not really feeling this one, which we were like, okay, interesting. But again, then that made it deliver even more because we were like lower hopes or whatever. But I hope the TV picks up.
TV was really solid for I think because there was such a gap between pay-per-views, they just had a whole period of time where they weren't focusing on a pay-per-view build. They were just giving really solid episodes of Dynamite with 3 hot matches every week. And then it was and then you had just Jericho Starks feuding every week. And then it was like the 3 weeks before the pay-per-view, it was like, oh, we should probably put the rest of the card together. And it felt rushed. And I think the main 2 feuds felt like they dragged on too long. And then the rest felt like there was no build at all.
Yeah,
which
I didn't like the build.
Maybe is an argument for maybe having another pay-per-view in the year.
More pay-per-views. Forbidden Door is gonna be coming around the corner.
Forbidden Door. Like,
what would you see elsewise at Double or Nothing, other than what we were
see? That's not as far away. We're talking 2 months. So still a bit of time, but like not. This was 3, I think, because it was November. Full Gear, right? So that's quite a long gap.
Yeah.
Double or Nothing. FTR the Bucks.
Okay.
I think for the titles. TNT. I kind of wanted to keep the title on Joe because I think Joe Takeshita for the TNT title would have been really cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know for the TNT. That's flip-flopping every week.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
MJF Hangman. I'm going with.
Because you could do the Trios Combat Club.
I like that idea.
Right?
Yeah.
That could be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anything else we want to talk about today before we go?
Yeah, let's go over to our friend Eddie Kingston.
I quit AEW. Peace.
What? Yes.
I quit AEW.
Peace.
Only to go
to Ring of Honor.
The other door at Ring of Honor.
Yeah. This is a bit weird. I think it's cool that you're giving him something prominent in ROH. You're trying to get this thing off the ground.
Yeah.
The history between him and Claudio. They teased it a bit last year around Blood and Guts and all that. Kind of didn't go anywhere. I think that's a good feud to go to. And Eddie's been very misused in the last since the summer.
Since last year, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how good it is having your baby face shitting on the AEW locker room so much, kind of in story, but when we know the last year we had the fight with him and Sami, we had Brawl Out, and then in the same week you're having Kenny on Renee's podcast saying, yeah, everything was great, and then I came back and it was like the Donald Glover meme where I come back with pizza and the place is burning down. I do question choosing to go that way with it, being like, yo, AEW shit now, so come and watch me on this streaming service. It's a little weird.
Yeah, I know there was... I didn't check out Ring of Honor. There are some matches I definitely got to cherry pick and go through and watch, because Trey Baxter, Blake Christian versus Zack Sabre Jr., something definitely I want to check out. But I feel like they got to make something a bit different to get my every week attention, because the way it looks is I already don't watch Dark. I already don't watch Elevation. I already don't watch Level Up.
There's too much wrestling.
So, like, there's a lot of wrestling, and when people are having hour-long matches, there ain't enough to go around.
Like, I really think ROH for me is going to be a show when I'm cooking and I don't know what to put on, and I can't really be invested in a TV drama while I'm cooking. So I just, I hear Blake Christian, Zack Sabre Jr. had a good match. I'll throw that on. Yeah. I'll watch the pay-per-views. Absolutely. For sure. But I feel like a lot of people are feeling the same way with ROH. Yeah. There's just too much. I like other things aside from wrestling.
I have to go outside sometimes. Yeah. You can't just watch wrestling all the time. I love it, but there's just too much.
So it's all a bit weird. I think him Claudio is a sensible title match. Yeah. I think that especially
you should win it.
Especially with Claudio being more dickish on TV.
Right.
Do we see that feud at all happening? No, I mean he's quit AEW, hasn't he? So I guess not.
Yeah. I guess we'll see.
Any other thoughts on Eddie?
No, just hope the match is good.
All right, yeah.
Hope he's mad. Stay mad.
We've got a couple of WWE things to finish because we did miss our Poisonrana show yesterday to talk about Revolution. So we've got two main things I think coming out of this week. Firstly, the first kind of encounter between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns ahead of their WrestleMania main event.
Yeah, this main event for Mania feels big. Everyone seems really hyped about WrestleMania this year, which is just good things all around being a wrestling fan. We're recording this Monday night, right before Monday Night Raw, and Dave Meltzer is reporting that Vince is backstage in Boston.
Excellent.
So let's get real excited for WrestleMania, even more so, and make sure you buy all your WWE merchandise and buy tickets to the house shows that go. Oh, I did do that this week. I did go to a house show. I saw Roman versus Sami, and
nice.
I didn't even have to go to Montreal.
And Sami won that one, didn't he?
Sami won. And then the ref.
So he's been inserted to the.
Yeah. Sami won, and he's in the match now. Yeah. So I just pretended I was in French. Yeah. In
Montreal.
Yeah, in the French land. I just pretended and booed him, and people were chanting in French and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I went there. And then our friend is like, yo, I got some free Elimination Chamber shirt for you. And I'm like, yeah, I'll just tell people for the rest of my life I went. You went to Elimination Chamber? You saw Sami and Roman? Oui. Oui. I took a buddy of mine who's been one of my closest friends, but never went to a wrestling show. So I said, hey, WWE's doing a house show. Roman Reigns is on the show. He does know who that is. So I took him, and he had a fantastic time and wants me to take him to some more. And WWE can get you hooked once you especially once you go live. You're like, okay, yeah, I see this. And taking friends who've never been before was quite fun as well. But also WWE putting on a pretty fun show at Rico Coca-Cola in Toronto on Saturday night. So that was some WWE stuff. But then SmackDown with Roman and Cody actually face to face. I thought their promos were fantastic, and specifically Roman, who I'm not usually too high on when it comes to the wrestling, but the character work he's doing right now is beyond what I ever could see coming from him, really. And the stuff about Dusty and saying Cody, me and Dusty used to cut back and just chill and talk about life and everything, and Dusty would talk about everything with me except he never would mention you.
You know what he said about you?
Nothing.
Yeah. Pat Patson lines.
Yeah. And it's oh man, so good. So I'm hyped for this match.
Yeah, I think it Roman really feels on a level of his own as this champion. He feels like the ultimate final boss that I don't think they've had. Even with when they've been pushing Brock Lesnar as that way, I don't think anyone's had this aura that Roman Reigns has right now. And we know Cody can talk, and Cody normally gets the better of everyone. And I thought this was interesting for the feud, having Roman just kind of destroy him here.
Yeah.
And I think there's time for Cody to get his own back in the talk, but I liked this, having Roman just completely own Cody this week.
And he did. He was such a menacing way of crushing your opponent. I used to hang out with your dad, and he's not around now, and he'll never.
He's like, you got it. You could try not to even have it, but you'll still have it because you are it.
He's like, your dad told me I'd be WrestleMania main eventing in no time, and look at me. He was right.
Oh, great. Have you main evented WrestleMania?
Yeah. He was great. Yeah. Also loved Cody versus Chad Gable from Raw.
Oh yeah,
that was great. The what is he? Crossroads. Man, that Crossroads looks sick.
It's something I think since leaving WWE and doing the like indie stuff and then AEW, I think facing all these like indie-rific guys who are like, oh, wouldn't it look cool if I just spike my head when I do the Crossroads? It looks so much better.
Yeah.
And I think now they've taken that. So you're having a lot of like, you're seeing your Chad Gables do it. You're seeing your Seth Rollins do it.
It wasn't until like Kenny sold the Crossroads that everyone went, oh, if
that's
you look
great move.
Yeah, we could just do that.
Whereas we've seen like a lot of people have this move and it's never like, it's looked fine. But now I think it looks like this deadly finisher. And I love when he rolls it through for a second or third time. Chad Gable's fantastic. And I love how they're using him at the moment as this kind of utility player where he'll go out on TV and have a really solid match against one of your top guys, against a Seth, against a Cody. He's definitely been a highlight when I watch one of those long episodes of Raw.
I love Chad Gable.
Any more thoughts on Cody Roman?
Cody Roman, no. I'm trying to think of other stuff that was happening this week. I guess with the big AEW stuff.
Yeah, I think like AEW had my focus mainly this week, but the Cody Roman thing was definitely a highlight. And then reports about Brock Lesnar. A few things of Brock. He's finishing up. It's WrestleMania season, so Brock is going, you know what, this is the end of my contract. I think I'm gonna go. I found it funny how apparently they were saying like he was like telling people at Raw he's finishing up and saying like goodbyes and things. Like, dude, WrestleMania's in like a month. You're gonna see these guys a few more times. But yeah, do you buy it?
He's gonna hit Omos. That's the match, right?
Yeah, but do you buy he's done?
Vince is out, right? Oh, wait, maybe that's why Vince is back now, to make sure he stays. Because I feel like once Vince left, Brock was like, nah, I need to leave. I don't want to be here anymore.
I don't see him go. I think this is a play to get more money. Like, he's done this so many times.
He's gonna fight John Jones.
Sure. Yeah.
I think John Jones said, yeah, we could make some money.
Yeah.
They both just won't get tested, and it'll be a great match.
Yeah. I don't think Brock's going anywhere. You've got those Saudi shows that will pay him a lot
of money.
I think he'll maybe take a little break.
Take a break, sure. I don't care really right now. He's definitely brocked too many Brocks. Like, he's just been too brocked, and I'm not interested in it.
I don't care if he's in the company or not at this point. I've kind of seen everything I need to see from him, but I don't really see him going.
Maybe he'll retire Goldberg this year, because Goldberg's been saying he needs to do one more show.
He wants the retirement match.
And he's going to retire in Saudi. That's what he said.
Retire in Saudi? Sure. Big E. Once Big E's back.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Right. Spear.
But yeah, also reports of Brock. I mean, we've seen it play out on TV, kind of this weird flip-flopping of booking within a matter of days with this Brock Lashley Wyatt stuff. So Brock lost to Lashley in DQ. Bray Wyatt said he was gonna face either Brock or Lashley. Brock apparently just turned down a Bray Wyatt feud, which I think you're very smart there. Well done, Brock. And basically agreed to have a match with Omos, which is, it's all building to one moment, I assume, which is an F5 on Omos. But can't say I'm thrilled about any of these matches. But yeah, maybe it is a better option for Brock than Bray.
Brock versus CM Punk and AEW.
Sure.
That's what he's teasing, that he's going to go somewhere else?
Yes.
Yeah, they would love to have him, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Don't really care about Brock. He's in this match that no one really wants to see anyways, but...
Except for Vince.
Yeah, but maybe. He's back, so...
He's back. Yeah, so that's kind of the news for this week. We'll do a regular show next Sunday talking all about WWE, AEW, any of the weird rumors that are out there and news and stuff. But
we'll have some other stuff to talk about. Hopefully, I know that the next Mercedes match is going to be set.
Okay.
So the Mandalorian is out. She's all over the place with that. But going forward, Mania season, baby. I'm excited. And reminder, we'll be watching it in Toronto at Gabby's in Toronto. Poisonrana.ca for all the links of all the stuff we do, including all the other podcasts. Yes, on this Poisonrana feed, we're gonna have another detox later this month. Shout out Jordan Goodman. But another What Up Though is coming out next week as well. So that's gonna be on this free feed. Yeah, this week would be Detroit and John Cena. And then over on our Patreon, it's only $5 and you get access to like 500 podcasts that pop up in your phone there of all the best match ever, all the retro NXT reviews, all the movie reviews, all the pay-per-view reviews are all up there. Go check it out because we do so many podcasts. There's always at least like 1 or 2 or 3 shows from us a week that you can access. And yeah, we do a lot of fun stuff. So go check us out and let us know what you think. Follow us on Instagram. I know you use Instagram. Why do we only have like 200 people who follow us? I know you use it. I know you use it.
Come on.
I know you use it.
Who doesn't have Instagram?
At Poisonrana Pod. I swear we'll use it more if you follow us. If you build it, they will come. So
yes.
I will. Thank you, everybody, for listening and supporting us. We will be back tomorrow with some Up Next on the post-wrestling feed. So it's Roadblock.
It is. Pretty big
ready.
show.
Yeah, get ready.
I was listening to Corey Graves and Kevin Patrick on their show talking about it. And Corey kind of going, I don't know, kind of feels like Sean's coming back. And he's like, he was like, I know nothing, don't take that, but kind of feels like Sean's coming back.
Yeah.
So we'll find out.
Is it Sean? Is it Johnny? Is it
it's
Dragon
Sean
Lee?
bringing his illegitimate son, Dragon Lee, to avenge him. Dragon Michaels. The Heartbreak Dragon.
That'd be pretty sick. Everyone else.
HBD.
Stop. Thank you, everybody. I myself, Braden Herrington. I'm on Twitter, Instagram at @TheBrayD.
And I am at Davie Portman.
That's it. That's all. Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. And go eat a pickle.
Ahoy!
Poisonrana.